And we are back. So this is part 4 of our hazelnut Italian gelato recipe, as close to the original as possible without the sugar. What we used instead of sugar was allulose. This stuff right here from Hoosier Hill Farm. Great product, great tasting. Allulose, believe it or not, has 0 calories. So not only, there's your allulose right there. So not only does it act as a sweetener, but it also lowers the freezing point of your final gelato, which means it stays softer at colder temperatures, which makes it more spoonable, more scoopable. It gives you that nice smoothness feeling in your mouth, the mouth feel that everybody wants. So to bring you up to speed, we basically toasted 400 grams of hazelnuts, right? Raw hazelnuts that had already been shelled. So they have the peel, they still have the peel on them. We toasted them at 350 degrees for about 10 minutes. I let them go an extra 2 minutes because I like my flavor a little more intense. And again, you'll have to taste and test your hazelnuts yourself. Just don't burn them. That's the trick, is just try to get them, as flavorful as you like them without burning them. So toasted the hazelnuts, put them into a food processor, let that pulse down. We scraped the sides as we went. In the meantime, we mixed together our liquid ingredients, which was 2 parts whole milk to 1 part half and half. Basically, what it comes out to is 2 quarts or a half a gallon of whole milk to 1 quart of half and half, which is basically half the container of half and half. So when it's all said and done, you've got 3 quarts of liquid, right? Which is basically going to come out to, with your 400 grams of hazelnuts and your allulose and your vanilla, you're basically going to get somewhere in the ballpark of around 3.5 quarts total of ice cream by weight. By volume, it's going to be a little bit more. You may actually end up at a full 4 quarts when it's all said and done, because you do want to incorporate some air into your gelato, just not a whole lot. We're talking minuscule, just enough till the consistency of your liquid mixture turns into like a soft serve frozen yogurt. That's when it's time to pull it out of the machine, which we'll do in another video, probably maybe tomorrow or the next day. But anyways, what I've got here is I added my vanilla paste, right? My vanilla bean paste. This happens to be from Vanilla Bean Kings, which great company, great tasting. This does have corn syrup in it, or cane syrup, I believe. Sorry, not corn syrup, but cane syrup. So if you're, what is it, hypoglycemic, or you want to lower your glycemic index intake for the day or whatever, you may want to opt for a different type of vanilla. But I like the stuff. It tastes great. The flavor is amazing. I will put a landing page to their products down there below in the description. I will also put links to everything that I've used today and all that good stuff down there in the description section. So make sure to check that out while you're watching the video or whatever. And I'll put a link to Hoosier Hill Farm. Obviously, their allulose product is amazing. So anyways, what I did was I took about a ladleful of our liquid mixture after it came up to a scald. So scald means you just barely want to see some bubbles on the edge. Shut off the heat, right? We were at medium heat, if you saw that in part 2 of the video series up until this point. But basically, shut off the heat. I added my 700 grams of Hoosier Hill Farm allulose. That's our sweetener. Remember, it lowers the freezing point of the gelato. So I added that, stirred all that together. I took a ladle full of this, put it into a bowl. Then I added my hazelnut spread and basically mixed it up to, you get to about this consistency right here, which looks like your, typical like Nutella spread, your hazelnut spread. That's basically the consistency that you're looking for. The difference between this and Nutella is there's no chocolate in here. Nutella has chocolate. So if you wanted to add chocolate, you could go for like a hazelnut chocolate kind of an ice cream. That's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. But for now, we're just at this point. So once you've got this nice mixture that is clump free, or as clump free as possible, now it's time to add this back into our liquid. And the reason why we did it this way, right? Because I could have taken the hazelnut spread and I could have just dumped it into this. What would have happened was you would have gotten clumps. So this way you get a more smoother, finer consistency. And obviously the more time you take with this, the better your final product is going to be. So anyways, let's go ahead and add this in. So basically just a spoonful at a time. Let me get my ladle out of here. And you can even repeat the process. Like if I wanted to put another, look at my fingers because this is so good. If I wanted to repeat this process again and put another ladle full of liquid in here, I could. That'll just make it even more thinner and more smoother. Again, like less likelihood of there being any clumps. But basically what I want to do is just take about a good spoonful full and just go ahead and put it into here and just kind of stir, stir, stir. And through the magic of television and YouTube, you will see now all this coming together quite nicely. And let the residual heat of the liquid mixture kind of smooth and help to facilitate or consolidate everything all together again. So as you stir, you can start breaking out the whisk here in a minute, which I probably will do. But what I'm going to do is take another spoonful and just a little bit at a time. You don't need to add too much, right? Just a little bit at a time. I'm putting this in here. Also, too, this is a 4-quart saucepan, so I'm trying not to go over the edges. It's very important. But as I keep stirring, right, all this is going to get more incorporated. Obviously, our white, milk and half mixture is going to become more and more brown, right? Because we're incorporating more as we go. But we're almost at the point where we're ready to just throw the whole batch in. So here's another little big spoonful. So just a little bit at a time. Loving the taste. Like I'm literally licking the side of this bowl as as we go. But anyways, you get the idea. So mixing this in, right? We got some big chunks in there, which we will get that with the whisk here in a second. And I might even break out the hand beater to kind of get that going too, to make sure we get everything incorporated. But basically now here's your big lump. So this is going to go in there. And once I feel like I'm free from the spoon, okay, you get the idea, right? This is just the idea. This isn't an exact, minute. If I did this minute by minute, I could have done this in about, I'd say total prep time, cook time, the whole 9 yards. I would say from the minute you put your hazelnuts in the toaster oven, right, to the time you basically have got to this point, I'd say you're looking at somewhere in a ballpark. Like if you were just doing this without actually shooting a YouTube video, you could probably do this, I'd say 20 to 25 minutes, right? Now, obviously I'm talking and I'm explaining things as we go, but just using a whisk here, more explanation for you. Basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to break apart these solid clumps now of hazelnut. So even though there's still a few bits and pieces that are still kind of chunky, right? We're talking like the size of maybe like a snow pea, right? Or a, like a pencil eraser size clump. It would have been a lot worse if I would have just taken the hazelnut spread and thrown it in here directly without softening it up first, as you saw in video part 3 of the video, or the video series. So we're almost there. I'd say this is about good enough. Well, it's good enough for this video anyways. So anyways, you kind of get the idea. I'm going to go in here and just whisk this a little bit more. It's going to take a little bit more time. It's easier if I'm doing this off camera. But with that being said, we are now at the point where you can let this cool now. Let this come back down to room temperature between 65 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. I want to let this come back down to room temperature, and then I'm going to put this in containers and throw this into the refrigerator. I want to let this refrigerate overnight, at least 12 hours minimum. If you can let it go longer, even better. But the reason why you want to do that is you want all those flavors to intermingle with the milk and with the half and half and the salt. Let that do its thing. Let it carry. Like salt is like a train. It carries the flavor throughout the entire mixture, right? And you want to let that hazelnut spread and that hazelnut now flavor the milk and the half and half. That's very important. So keeping it in the fridge overnight for at least 12 hours will help to consolidate everything together, make it more like a homogeneous unit, right? Anyways, you get the idea. It'll be copacetic in a collaborative effort with each other. The adjectives keep flying. That's what that's what an Italian will do to you. Anyways, with that being said, there are links below down there in the description, so make sure to check those out. I'm going to tidy this up a little bit, make it a little more smoother. I'll be back with part 5, maybe part 6 in the video series, showing everybody the ice cream machine, how I put it all in there, how it freezes. That'll be tomorrow, right? Maybe even the next day. But I'll post that video up shortly and you can check that out. If you want to stay tuned, I'm going to show you all the vanilla and chocolate ice cream I made yesterday. So stay tuned for the next video right after this one to check that out. Anyways, if you like what you're seeing, hit hit that like button, hit the subscribe button down there below. In the description section down there below, I will put a link to the Hoosier Hill Farm Allulose. I'll put a link to the Vanilla Bean Kings Vanilla Bean Paste. I'll put a link to the food processor, the spatula, the ice cream stuff that I use to make ice cream, the 4-quart All-Clad saucepan, which is the workhorse of this entire production. Maybe the food processor as well. Cuisinart 14 cup. Make sure you get a good size one. Anyways, all that stuff will be down there below in the description. I'm the Old Coot, and I will catch you all on the next exciting video.